Hello, everyone. My name is Ishtar Jako. I'm a mother and a grandmother. Live in Australia with my family. I migrated to Australia in 1984 under the Special Humanitarian Program. Before that, I lived almost 3 years in France. And before that, first I lived in my homeland, Baghdad, Iraq, where I spent 20 years of my life there. Today, I like to share with you a story of remembrance, a story of genocide against my Assyrian nation, a story of one person that's similar to all Assyrian stories, the story that's still living in the memories of many survivors. It's the story of my grandmother, Khana Khnaneesho. When I was a little girl, I spent my summer holidays with my grandmother. As in the hot summer of Iraq, of Baghdad, no one was allowed to go outside. I remember sleeping the afternoons under the air coolers with a rag blanket. We call it khlebt qarta. And then my grandmother told me all the stories. She taught me about everything, about faith, about identity. And she told me about a story when she was a child. At the time, I didn't understand what she was talking about. Then when I've grown up, I know now that she was talking to me and telling me about a testimony, about history of Seyfo, how they ran away, what happened, how they fled. I'll start telling you the story. My grandmother was a child born in an Assyrian family with her father, Khnaneesho, her mother, Rache, and 3 more sisters. One day, she told me that her father rushed through the door. He said, "Come, quickly. I have to take you up on the roof. The infidels are here to kill us." And she used the word hoshare, which in Persian means the infidels. My great-grandfather took a ladder, took the family up the roof. While he was pulling the ladder, he was shot in his hand and he lost 4 of his fingers. At the time, my great-grandfather screamed, saying, "Rache, stum lebeti." That means, "I've gone." All he thought about his fingers because he was a piano player at the church. At that time, there was all those people fleeing from Hakkari, thousands of people, and going through Ormia. And with that, my grandmother and the family, they all walked with this massive wave of people running away, don't know where to go. No clothes, no shoes, no food, just running for their lives. They were heading toward Bakuba, Iraq. Then my grandmother told me a story of that her sister, she was 7 years old, my grandmother, and they called her Surto because she was the youngest in the family. Her sister put her on a donkey, fleeing away with hundreds, maybe thousands of people. Then what happened? They reached a river. I'm not sure which river this was, but some river around on the way. Khata was her oldest sister name. They call her Khata, which we Assyrian use a lot for the oldest sister. We call her Khata. We don't call her by name. Khata said to her, "Sit under this tree, Surto, and I'll cross the donkey and come back to pick you up." It seems that Khata just followed with everyone, and it was hard for her to come back to pick up Surto from under the tree, where Surto sat, confused and scared, doesn't know what's happening. Luckily, there was a man who knew the family coming back in the opposite direction, and he saw the little girl under the tree. He said, "What you doing under the tree?" She said, "Oh, I'm waiting for my sister to come and take me back." He said, "Oh, your sister already reached Bakuba. She's far away. She can't come back. Come with me. Come with me and I'll take you to your family." So he took her to her family where she was reunited. When they reached Bakuba, sadly, my great-grandfather lost his life due to the infection, and he died of gangrene. My great-grandmother, Rache, afterwards, where the British done a camp for the Assyrians in Habbaniyah. So they ended living in Habbaniyah, where my great-grandmother worked as a caretaker for a private school to look after her daughters. They stayed in Habbaniyah and grew up there. Then my grandmother met my grandfather, Aziz, Ishtar Jako, and they married and were granted with many sons and daughters. My mother, Lena, was the fourth child in the family. Then my mother lived in Habbaniyah and moved to Baghdad and Dora, where we all were born. Today, my grandparents went to United States. They buried in Los Angeles, California. My mother ended in France, where she's resting there. Me and my other uncle in Holland, me, another aunt, my cousins, my three sisters, we ended in Australia. I see that genocide is not just killing, but it's displacement of this nation. Because of this genocide, today we are scattered in all those countries. I pray that one day we will all united in one place as an Assyrian nation, where we can see each other live with dignity and pride. To me, like genocide is not death, like we said, but it's a displacement. And it's the loss of our homeland, which we never will lose it, and we will never give up on it and give this hope, because our homeland, even though we are in the diaspora, but our homeland came with us and living in us. Thank you very much for listening to this historical testimony. And it's the story not just for one person, it's the story of all Assyrians. And it's still living in the memories of the survivors and who survived this atrocity. And one more thing, genocide never stopped against the Assyrian nation. We are in genocide every day, every moment. But we will never give up. Thank you very much.